Commander Replay. We're back with some more Feather the Redeemed, this time trying out our heroic build. Is Feather feeling like a hero today? Find out next on Commander Replay. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Feather the Redeemed today. We're playing the heroic version. Take a look at this opening hand. We've got 3 lands plus a tithe. It's a little bit slow. Let's see what we're facing off against. Kagachi, Sek'kuar. There's a Tyma. Tyma can be a little bit fast. I think I'm going to keep. It's not the best hand I've ever seen, but we have lands, and I do like making my land drops. So we definitely will want to draw into something. If we can get one of our draw spells kind of soon, that would be very, very helpful. So actually, as I've been thinking about it, I think I'm going to mulligan this hand. Like, it's safe on lands, but it's slow, it doesn't ramp, there's no removal, and there's no card draw. So I think we can do a little bit better. Well, at least we have a 3-drop. We have a heroic card, so I think that makes us a little bit closer than we were before. So with Zada and a heroic, plus the Mirror Wing Dragon, we basically just need like a card draw spell, and we'll be off to the races, card draw-wise. So that feels a little bit better to me. No tithe, sadly, but we do have a new Benalia in here, so we can get a Scry going, too. And now we're looking good. We drew a Defiant Strike off the top, so I'm feeling that. Right here, we'll just play the new Benalia first. I thought about waiting a turn since we don't have anything to do on 1 or 2 mana. There's a Magnetic Theft. I guess it's fine. We'll keep it right there. We should be drawing with Defiant Strike soon, so even though we don't need Magnetic Theft right now, the fact that it could potentially be helpful later seems very good. So, and the fact that we can draw past it with Defiant Strike is very good as well. So, like, typically in a lot of Boros decks, if you don't need a card right now, you would probably scry it to the bottom. But we should be able to draw enough with the cards in this hand that we can actually keep a few things that we don't need. And, you know, honestly, I think that's the strength of Feather. The strength is that this commander draws cards really easily, which is something that Boros doesn't do. And a lot of times you don't have a lot of room to carry, like, extra things in your hand, like, oh, maybe I'll need this down the road. You need exactly the things you need right now, and you don't really have room for anything else, is typically how a lot of Boros decks play. So yeah, I think that is the strength of Feather. So we draw into that Magnetic Theft. We will play let's go ahead and play a Mountain right here, and we'll just tap out and pass. Anyway, so the Sek'kuar does play a Metallic Mimic on their turn 2, naming Kavu, so potentially a Kavu tribal deck. Seems fun. And the Tyma and Bruse Tarl opponent does have a Mother of Ruins that they're going on the attack with. Very interesting. I would have just held that up personally. And they lay down a Lone Rider. Pretty cool card, especially good in life gain decks. First strike, lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, transform it if you've gained 3 or more life. And on the backside, it's a 4/4 with first strike, trample, and lifelink. It's a 2/2 that can turn pretty serious as the game goes on. So, yeah, like I said, definitely fits well into a life gain deck. So I'm joined by one Patreon supporter today. That is Maru Powell, and they were playing the Sek'kuar Deathkeeper deck. And we have 2 pickup opponents in the Tyma and Bruse Tarl and the Kagachi. Tyma Bruse Tarl is a little bit scary. Does look like it's going to be some kind of go-wide deck. Tyma really good at drawing cards, so that's always a problem. Sek'kuar is interesting. I have died to it a few times in the past. It can be a little bit combo-centric, especially if you get like a Grave Pact going and some sack outlets, things like that. Now you've got a bunch of tokens flying around, and it can do some stuff. Kagachi is one that I've seen a handful of times, but ultimately I haven't seen it have a ton of success. I've never really seen anyone successfully build the, like, just Kagachi build around me version. However, I have seen Spirit Tribal occasionally, but even then, Spirits are interesting. Spirits are one of those tribes that could definitely use just a bit more support. So, you know, not the most consistent thing I've ever seen. But we'll see what they're up to today, see what kind of build they're on. Maybe they're just doing something else entirely with 5 color. Who knows? So we'll cast Feather right here, and we do draw into a Flamekin Village on our turn. We'll try to get that down next turn since it is a tap land. We do want to get Feather in. But we'll get Feather in right here, and then we'll probably just try to Defiant Strike next turn. Well, we're going to have some choices. Well, I guess the Tethmos High Priest says heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, return target creature with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. We don't have any creatures in the graveyard yet, so we might just hang on to that one, just in case of a board wipe or something like that, or if a Grave Pack starts flying around. So yeah, we'll probably hang back on that. The question is, do we go for Zada? Like, if we go for Zada, it's a riskier line of play, but then after that, every time we cast Defiant Strike, it's going to be drawing 2 cards, and that's pretty cool. So opponent going to send the Lone Rider into the Sek'kuar Deathkeeper. It does have first strike, so opponent will certainly not want to block with their Metallic Mimic. And they'll take one. Opponent does cast Tymna, by the way. Tymna's in play. They will get to draw a card. Yeah, that ability's pretty good. Wouldn't mind finding our Reckless Rage so we can just bolt Tymna repeatedly. Here comes a Gilded Lotus for the Okagachi. Going to get their mana ramp on. Long forgotten Gohei. Gohai? Gohei? Gohei? I don't know how to say that. Arcane spells. Arcane spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and spirit creatures you control get +1/+1. So it looks like they are going to be doing the arcane spell and spirit thing with Okagachi. To bring it back to our turn, we draw into an Adamant Will. Don't need that just yet. What are we doing this turn? So we could go the greedier line. Well, we do have a lot of cards in hand, so yeah, because we don't really have room for more cards in hand at this exact second, I'm going to go for the Strip Mine and then the Zada. And next turn we can really start messing around with the Adamant Will and the Defiant Strike and getting multiple copies of that. I think I'm going to take a little shot into the Tymna Bruse Tarl right here. They seem to have a lot going on. Yeah, opponent says that they're glad they're playing their Spirit Okagachi deck and not their Mass Land Destruction Okagachi deck. I can appreciate that. On the other hand, though, because Feather is a, mid-sized flying creature that's very aggressively costed, probably not actually the worst thing against land destruction, because as long as you can keep Feather in play, you're going to have a flying creature, and if you have a single land and one card draw spell, you can refill your hand and start finding more lands pretty quickly, but a lot of that'll come down to the exact board state that's going on when the land destruction spell goes off, so... Anyway, opponent going to go on the attack. Tymna going into the Okagachi, and Lone Rider back into the Sek'kuar. Opponent casts an Archangel of Ties. Is going to make it harder to attack into them, and they do gain that life they need to flip over the It That Rides. So that's all a thing. The two lifelink from Tymna getting that flipped over seems pretty good. And then there's a Windborn Muse, so all the pillow fort going on now, coming down for the Okagachi. Make it much harder to attack into stuff. There's Mirror of the Forebears. Very interesting, but it was kind of weird that it came out right around the same time as Mirage Mirror, and Mirage Mirror just way more versatile. So it's just I don't know, would you ever really want to run Mirror of the Forebears over Mirage Mirror? Because Mirage Mirror can just do so much. I've seen some really wacky plays with Mirage Mirror, and it's a card that for 2 years now I've been saying that I need to run more, and I just never do. So, at some point, I'm going to have to start running more Mirage Mirror. But anyway, Sek'kuar getting a Kavu into play finally. And that's going to be a Serpentine Kavu. Comes in with a +1/+1 counter. It's a 5/5. Can give it haste if they wanted to. We do draw into a Phalanx Leader. Finally, that's actually pretty good. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Phalanx Leader, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Very solid. Oh, we don't have triple white, though. That's a little bit of an issue. Ew. Mana be a thing. We run very few colorless lands in this deck, and we did catch one of them in this Strip Mine, and it's going to get us right here. I mean, what are the chances that we have a Plains on top of our deck? Actually, if we Defiant Strike, that'll give us 2 card draws. We would hope to draw into a Plains, but if we don't, then I don't think we're doing all that much this turn, which may not be the best. You only live once, right? Yeah, Tymna's kind of getting into a board wipe or bust situation already based on what they have going on. I don't want to we can get the Phalanx Leader back. So I'm kind of stuck here between the card draw. I'm going to go Defiant Strike. So whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets Zada only, copy that for each creature you control. So we're going to be doing that right now. Play the Defiant Strike. We'll get the Zada copy. We'll get the Feather ability. So we get 2 Defiant Strikes. There's the Plateau. Hey, there's the untapped white we needed. Although it's gonna get red does help, so now we can go Plateau, play Phalanx Leader, and then we won't do it this turn because our hand is just about full, but we can play Crimson Wisps on the Zada, and that'll target everything. I think that's an interaction I hadn't thought about. So if Zada targets the Phalanx Leader, does that trigger the Phalanx Leader? We'll have to figure that one out. I'm not entirely sure. This one is 2 for each attacking creature. This one, I believe, is 1. Feather is a 4/4, but it would just get blocked by the 3/5 and the protection. No real reason to go anywhere. I think we're sitting back and blocking this turn. You guys know that makes me sad, but based on what's on board right now, I think we're better off just sitting back and blocking, waiting a turn, and next turn we can get Adamant Will up, and that seems like a very good place to be. Also, since I don't know if the Phalanx Leader is going to work the way I want it to, opponent's going to copy the Windborn Muse, so we definitely can't attack into him now. Probably wasn't going to attack into him anyway, so joke's on them. Defiant Strike will come back to our hand. Cool. So back up to 7 cards, and we'll pass like that. There's a Temple of the False God for the Tyma Bruse Tarl. Man, that is risky in that deck. I would so not run it. Like, there are some decks where it's like, okay, fine, you want to run Temple. Tyma Bruse Tarl is not one of them. Talking, you got a 3-color deck that wants to be doing a lot of things early in the game. No, thank you. I would happily run a basic in that slot over Temple of the False God. They seem to be very heavily white also, so probably a Plains. Oh, that's an Odric Lunarch Marshal. Oh, there's going to be some abilities there. So we've got Flying, First Strike, Trample, a Lifelink. Whoo. Yeah, that's some stuff. Opponent going to do some copying with the Mirror Forebears. Going to recopy their Windborn Muse. Sure. And Odric's ability is on the stack, so all those abilities we talked about earlier going to spread around. Such a good card. Yep, we've got First Strike, Flying, Lifelink, and Trample. And we can get some protection from colors going from the Mother of Runes if we want to. We got a 3/5 Archangel of Tithes coming in our way. We can block... Okay, opponent changing their mind. Gonna send that over to the Kavu opponents. Yeah, that seems to make a bit more sense in my opinion. And only gonna send the 1. Cool. Stoneforge Mystic coming in for the Tyma Bruse Tarl. See what they're going for. Hope it's not a Sunforger. It's a Sword of Fire and Ice. That's another pretty good one. Fire and Ice. No double strike yet. Would kill our Phalanx Leader if we don't get that pumped up. Drog Skull Captain coming into play. Very nice. Get those spirits pumped up. Windborn Muse going to swing our way. It's a 4/5. The biggest feather would get is a 4/4, even if this ability does work the way I want it to, so we're just going to go ahead and take that one. Somewhat risky on our opponent's part, though. They did attack into a feather with open mana. We just happen to have the wrong colors of open mana. Opponent's going to Ghost Quarter this forest. Looks like they're Ghost Quartering themselves. Pretty sure they forgot to float the mana, like you're supposed to do when you do that. They did get some red mana, though. Good thing, too, Archangel of Tithes is tapped. Opponent will have a bunch of flyers, though. Yeah, we could really use some removal this moment in time. Blasphemous Act would be good, because then we could use Adamant's Will, give everything indestructible. Here comes Sek'kuar. Says, whenever another non-token creature you control dies, create a 3/1 black and red Graveborn creature token with haste. Yeah. At the end of our opponent's second main phase right here, we're going to target Zada with the Crimson Wisps. Hopefully this doesn't get, hopefully don't eat any kind of removal or anything like that. So we can choose 2 targets for the copy. That's going to be the Phalanx Leader and the Feather. So, okay, yeah, the Zada does... when we target the Zada, it doesn't appear to trigger the Phalanx Leader. We'll have to consider how we want to play all of that. We do draw a Land Tax, a Return to Dust. Does that help us? That'll help us with the Sword of Fire and Ice. And a Signet. Signet is not the worst thing. We could get a little bit of ramp going. So then we'll let the turn come back to us. Feather will return the Crimson Wisps. We draw into a mirror entity. That's interesting. Not exactly what we need right now, but ooh, that does help us get the Flamekin Village untapped, which I think mana is going to be a bit of an issue this turn. So play the Flamekin Village, reveal the mirror entity. Don't need to give anything haste, so use... What do we need to... Are we casting mirror entity? We definitely want to leave up Adamant Whale in case we need to hold stuff up for that. We'll use these 2, get the Signet into play. Definitely want to do that. Maybe, do we just Crimson Wisp to try and find like a board wipe or something? Blasphemous, yeah, I think we need some removal. Opponent's getting pretty out of hand. So we'll use the Boros Signet. Crimson Wisps on Zada. That'll get copied 3 times. There's a Chaos Warp, that's something. Mother of Rune's still an issue though. And a Balefire Liege, huh? We don't have the mana for Balefire Liege. We might discard this and then try to get it back with the High Priest guy. I think we can get the Land Tax in right here. Yeah, get Land Tax. Whew, 10 cards in hand. With converted mana cost 2 or less, so that is this guy. What cards are we discarding? Vanguard, definitely. We're at still a 10. Vanguard, definitely. We can get that one back. Balefire's pretty good. Don't really want to get rid of that. Mirror Wing Dragon's also pretty good. Don't really want to get rid of that either. Although, I guess Mirror Wing is redundant with Zada, and as far as I know, like, targeting Zada won't also allow us to trigger the Mirror Wing Dragon, so... also, I guess Mirror Wing Dragon helps out our opponents a little bit too, potentially, depending on what spells they have. So I think we'll discard the Mirror Wing Dragon. Still not going to do any attacking. Opponent has such a large board state that want to have all the blockers up that we possibly can. Oop, we're getting another card back. Be a lot of cards in hand. Oh, we can use the magnetic theft. Oh, that'll be funny. Attach target equipment to target creature. Yeah. So we can steal that Sword of Fire and Ice. That'll be good. That'll be good. Discard the Vanguard like we talked about. We'll discard the Mirror Wing Dragon like we talked about. Man, I want all of these cards. Can we get the Mirror Entity back? Mirror Entity is going to be a ways from being good, I think. It's so mana intense that I don't see us being able to use that anytime soon. But now, dude, these are tough choices. Return to Dust. Guess Return to Dust. I don't love doing that. Never love to pass on the removal, but again, yeah, this deck is just so mana intense. Like, to keep all these tricks up, we have to leave all of our mana up, and what is it, turn 6 right now? We're doing okay. We've made all of our land drops, but we've even got a Signet now. But really, we need to be getting ahead is what we need to be doing. If we can stall this game out until like turn 10 or so and make every land drop up to that point, then we'll start having enough mana to be able to really do a lot of things all in one turn. But here comes a Slayer Stronghold for our opponent. Seems good. Here comes a Sword of Fire and Ice. Yep. Opponent could have used the Stoneforge Mystic if they wanted to save a mana to do so, but also depends. Sometimes you just want your Stoneforge Mystic untapped, but I don't know. They're in a position where it seems like they'd probably be okay to tap it. Opponent's going to equip the Sword of Fire and Ice, put it onto the Archangel of Tithes. Yep. It's a 5/7. Where do they send it? Odric's going to trigger. Ooh. First strike. What do we got? First strike, flying, vigilance, lifelink or something like that. Opponent's going to use the Forebears to copy the Windborn Muse. Yep. Seems like a pretty good little trick. Opponent going to send the Archangel of Tithes our way. Okay. Any other attacks? Protection from blue, red, first strike, lifelink, trample, and flying. So we are going to use the Magnetic Theft right here. So we'll steal the Sword of Fire and Ice, put it on the Feather. And this should be an absolute headache for our opponent. Magnetic Theft. Everyone's been like, you need to run this card. You need to run this card. Maybe I do need to run this card more, because even stealing something like a Lightning Greaves at instant speed can be really, really good. And a lot of people run Lightning Greaves for a lot of different reasons. So see if opponent remembers to use the Mother of Runes. Hopefully they forget. 3/5 first strike, so Feather big enough to kill it. They don't use right here. They could have given it protection right there, so we can't even block it, and they would get the damage in. Let's see if they remember. Oh, we have to pay 1 to. Ooh. I guess we're paying 1 to declare. That seems like it'll be good though. Does take down. Oh, okay. Opponent does remember to use the Mother of Runes. The good news though is that Mother of Runes is now tapped. We can use the Chaos Warp to get rid of some stuff on our turn, assuming no board wipes happen over the next turn cycle. But I am sad that we no longer have enough mana for Adamant Will. Opponent does 0 damage. They don't get to draw any cards, so that's good news. And also, they don't pay to re-equip their Sword of Fire and Ice. So Sword of Fire and Ice still equipped to Feather. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Nice. Magnetic Theft doing a little bit of work right there. Time of Need. Search your library for a legendary creature. Cool card. Doesn't show up all that much. For how good this thing is, it should see more play. Opponent goes for a Yobi who split the heavens. It's a 3/6. Whenever you cast a Spirit or Arcane spell, create a 3/3 white spirit creature token with flying. That's not bad, actually. It's maybe a little overcosted at 7 mana, but if you can play like 2... If you play 2 spells with that, you get 2 3/3 flyers. That's pretty good. And especially since we're talking about a Spirit deck, we do have some Spirit Anthems in play. So the Spirits are actually pretty big. Soul Ring for the Sek'kuar opponent. Fire Main Gavu out of Time Spiral. Time Spiral, very interesting set. It's got Echo. It's a 4/2. When it enters the battlefield, it does 2 damage to target creature. Come on, Mother of Runes. I can't see the target, but I think it's Mother of Runes. Yes, it was nice. So opponent takes down the Mother of Runes. Awesome. That's fantastic news. Leaves us the ability to Chaos Warp some stuff, which we're probably going to need to do. And more importantly, a board wipe did not happen right here. We are going to play our Crimson Wisps on this Zada. Get both triggers right here. At some point, we will have to start targeting the Phalanx Leader, but wait for another day to do that. Oh, interesting. Feather has protection from red now, so we can't target it with Crimson Wisp, so we're only drawing 2. That's okay, though. There's a land. I did not count the land. Ooh, Fell the Mighty, you say? Fell the Mighty seems like exactly what we want. Fell the Mighty on the Phalanx Leader. That'll give it up to 2 power. A couple things will survive. Well, actually, if we play the Adamant's Will... I'm gonna have to think about how the timing of all this works if we play the Adamant's Will. So Crimson Wisps coming back to our hand. Land tax will trigger. Use the ability. We have a decent number of basics left. Just going to go for one right here since our hand is so full. We really need like a Reliquary Tower. There's a Teferi's Protection. That's a sweet card. Okay, so let's see. We have Plateau. We could use Sacred Foundry still, so we'll play the Scalding Tarn. We don't necessarily need to crack Scalding Tarn, but we could at some point. There's an Urborg in play, so it does produce mana. We could use that into the Boros Signet should we need to. So I need to think about the timing of this real quick. Destroy all creatures with power greater than target creature's power. That's going to be the amount of power when it resolves. So if we targeted Phalanx Leader, it would put a +1 counter on it to be 2. If we then use the Adamant's Will, that would make it 4 power greater than target creature's power. So it almost seems like we'd be better off. Yeah, this is tricky. Maybe we just wait. And I've actually been pulling Fell the Mighty out of a lot of decks for this reason because it is really awkward. Unless maybe... Do we run this guy down there, use this? No, because if we play the Adamant's Will, then that'll just turn into 4 power 2. Chandra's Ignition is probably the one that we really wanted. So we played a land already. I guess we're going to go on the attack with Feather. Alright, first strike, flying, lifelink, trample. Not really a lot of room to get in here. Actually, yeah, let's attack. Let's see if opponents block, then we can use the Adamant Will. And maybe we can get a couple things to go down to the Adamant's Will. We will want to leave up a red to reuse the Magnetic Theft. No blocks from our opponent, so we can do 2 damage to a target. Probably shoot the Tymna, just cause some headaches for him. Opponent said Kamigawa was a fun set. Too bad the mana curve required for it is enough to put the game into an economic recession. Smothering Tithe solves all mana problems. Yes, it does. Oh. So opponent still controls the Sword of Fire and Ice, which means they get to choose the target for it. I did not account for that. So they're going to try and blast our Phalanx Leader right here, which means Adamant Will time. I'm actually just going to play this on the Phalanx Leader so we get the +1/+1 counters. So Phalanx Leader will trigger. Our creatures get +1/+1 counters on them. 2 damage to the Phalanx Leader. It'll survive. Don't really have the mana to want to get this Balefire Liege down at some point, but I think our best bet is just to like hold up our spells. Yeah, this Fell the Mighty is not great. Like, if this is just a regular board wipe, Blasphemous Act or something, I'd be much happier with it. So that's definitely a change I'll be making. And like I said, I have been making that change in some of the other decks. I built this one a few weeks back and haven't really looked at it since. I just kind of fired it up and started playing. So that would explain a little bit of that. We are back up to 10 cards in hand. Not the best. So we'll discard the Plains, the Fell the Mighty, since it's not helping us very much. Discard one more thing. Almost thinking about getting rid of the High Priest since, yeah, we have a bunch of indestructible stuff, so I don't foresee us needing that Priest anytime soon. We have Indestructible, we have Teferi's Protection, that's a lot of good stuff right there. See what opponent's got going on this turn. They're going to re-equip the Sword of Fire and Ice. Someone's got the Sword of Fire and Ice back on the Archangel of Tithes. I feel like they should be putting it on something else, because the Archangel wants to remain untapped. Maybe we Chaos Warp at the end step, get rid of this Odric, and... yeah, I think that seems like a plan. Archangel of Tithe is going to swing into the Kavu opponent. So opponent hits with the sword, brings Sek'kuar down to 30. Let's see what they target with the Fire and Ice. Metallic Mimic probably makes the most sense since they know that we have protection spells on the Phalanx Leader. Yep, going to target the Metallic Mimic. Seems fine. Sek'kuar will get a token. Opponent will get to draw 1 card. Much like us, they have many cards in hand. Tymna, pretty OP. Pretty OP. Drawing cards for free. Rakdos, Lord of Riots. Oh boy, that's one we should probably get rid of. Hopefully no Eldrazi. I would love it if someone else played a board wipe. Because Odric's also going to cause a problem for us too because everything's got flying. Here comes Kagachi, and that'll create a 3/3 Flying Spirit token. And those are coming in as 5/5s with all the Anthem effects that the Spirit opponent has. And Kagachi is an 8/8 with Flying, Trample, and Hexproof. Oh my. Yeah, we need to find Blasphemous Act. Super badly. There's Hanakami. Return target arcane card from your graveyard to your hand if you sacrifice it. There doesn't appear to be any arcane cards in the graveyard yet, but opponent down to 1 card in hand, so a little bit thin on cards at the moment. No attacks for opponent. We are going to do some card drawing right here. Let's fire the Crimson Wisps on the Zada, and then we'll choose some copies. Get 2 additional copies. That's Cathar's Crusade. That's a pretty cool card. Don't have any token makers yet. There's a Sacred Foundry. And there's a Rugged Prairie. Does help us convert mana colors if we need to. And we will return the card. I need to check this deck list real quick. So opponent's got to pay the Echo cost on the Kavu. This deck does not have a Thought Vessel, and does not have a Reliquary Tower, so yeah, that seems like an oversight. We'll definitely want those. This deck has been drawing cards like crazy, probably more so than the other decks because of Zada. And so if you have card draw with Zada, you definitely want Thought Vessel and Reliquary Tower. Like I've talked about in some of the other videos, just managing the number of colorless lands you have is very important. So you really don't want any that you don't need. So I had actually pulled out Reliquary Tower in some of these builds because I didn't know if it was going to be good enough. But for this build, definitely going to want Reliquary Tower. Probably also going to want Thought Vessel. Library of the Leng is also another pretty good one because you want to protect yourself against wheel effects. So, opponent does not pay the echo cost on the Kavu. That'll create a token for Sek'kuar, and they get to do 4 damage to a creature. Let's see what they choose. They're going to choose... Ooh, nice. They're going to choose the Odric Lunarch Marshal, which is great news for us. That means we can Chaos Warp the Rakdos. Spirits are getting a little out of hand, though. I hope to find that Blasphemous Act very soon. Oh, nice. Opponent's got Chaos Warp on the Rakdos themselves. Fantastic. So Tyma getting picked apart a little bit right here by removal. That allows us to hold up our own Chaos Warp, because now I'm starting to worry about the Spirit opponent. At some point we might need to shoot this Drogskull Captain, because it does give hexproof to all other spirits they control. And that's a really big deal. We can't do anything about this Kagachi, or really if there any of their other creatures, including this Windborn Muse. An opponent just scooped. I don't know where they went. Huh. Well, wasn't expecting that. I guess we Crimson Wisps? Try to find this board wipe? So Crimson Wisps on Zada. Get more copies. And Players Leaving is actually really bad. Ooh, there's the Austere Command. Players Leaving is really bad for Feather because then you have one less turn cycle to be able to do all these tricks with our spells. There's a Gilded Lotus. That's also pretty good. Don't know if we'll have enough time to get everything. Ooh, and a Sun Titan. Oh, that's a lot of really good stuff. Oh, man. I don't know how we're going to get all these cards out of our hand. Well, we'll just do our best. Right here, let's play the... What are we playing? Well, we're going to wait just a little bit. Does opponent want to blast us in the air? Because that's probably what's going to happen. No attacks. Cool. We'll play the Adamant Will on the Phalanx Leader. And the Urborg is also gone now, so we will crack the Scalding Tarn. Unfortunately, Sacred Foundry into our hand. Not the best. Grab a mountain, play the Adamant Will on the Phalanx Leader. We'll go to the end step. Bunch of stuff. So some stuff coming back. Land tax is going to trigger. I'm going to go for the full, but just to thin our deck. We're doing pretty good on lands right here. And without... yeah, really need to get a Reliquary Tower. Really need to get a Thought Vessel. Ooh, we draw Haemwar Battlements. Man, I want all of these cards. Well, I guess we have the Flamekin Village. That is redundant with the Battlements. Play the... I'm going to go for the Sacred Foundry. Untapped. Do we have enough to get the Gilded Lotus? 1, 2, it's 4, 5. That'll be 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't have enough to get Gilded Lotus and do the Austere Command thing all in one turn. So we're going to Adamant's Will on Zada. Zada will spread that ability around. That's a small creature. That's a small creature. That's a big creature. That's a small creature. Big creature, small creature, big creature, big creature, small creature. I think we just need to go all creatures on Austere Command. Sword of Fire and Ice is a thing. The Mirror of the Forebears is a little bit of a thing. Arcane, yeah, I mean, those are cards, but I think we just need to get rid of all the creatures right now. I think that is our best bet. So we've got a little bit of power in our creatures at this moment in time. Let us play the Austere Command. And we're just going to nail all the creatures right here. Ooh, opponent did get a Reconnaissance into play last turn, too. Looks like they forgot to use it. So all the creatures getting blown up. Yeah, Tim the Bruse Tarl has way more cards in hand, so I think that's definitely where we want to be attacking. Send everything their way. They go down to 19, 15 commander damage. That's actually extremely relevant. Probably could have attacked the other way with the other two creatures had I thought about it more. But then we will go to the end step. We'll get a bunch of stuff back. We're going to have so many cards. We have to discard so much stuff. Okay. So discard all these lands. Discard. We have one land for next turn. Discard the Cathar's Crusade. We're still at 10 cards. Whew. Magnetic Theft, I feel like it's run its course. We can get rid of that. Crimson Wisps, the card draw is still pretty good. Maybe we just keep Defiant Strike. Or on the other hand, though, Crimson Wisp and the Sun Titan is going to be really good. So maybe we do keep that. Get rid of the Balefire Liege, I guess. One card to go. Guess it's going to be the... no, let's keep the land. No, we'll get rid of the land. Get rid of the land. We are exposed this turn. So if opponents have a board wipe, now's the time to use it, because they obviously don't have anything to lose. But opponent talking about Rise of the Dark Realms, yeah, that would be really good right here. A lot of creatures in the graveyard. 3 creature decks left. Well, I guess ours is a little bit lighter on creatures, but still a few. Balefire, Liege, Mirror Entity, yeah, Mirror Wing Dragon. It's all stuff. That is all stuff. No action? Tyma Bruse Tarl has 8 cards in hand and they're not playing anything? I'm so confused. They don't have Cyclonic Rift. Huh. Not really sure what the plan is. Alright, opponent's going to fire back with their own austere command. They're going to get all the creatures. Yup. Was worried about something like that, but I think it was worth it. What thing... Ooh, that's Path to Exile. What things are we getting back? We can get back a Phalanx Leader. We have a bunch of lands. We can get back the Tethnos High Priest. So play the Gilded Lotus. Get the mana ramp going. Play Sun Titan. Get back... Let's get the lands. This deck just needs lands like crazy. Get back Rugged Prairie. Do we burn the Crimson Wisps right here? That would get us an extra land. Or we could hold up the Adamant Will. Yeah, let's hold up Adamant Will. Adamant Will on Sun Titan. Yeah. Really don't want our Sun Titan going anywhere. We can pretty much... Sun Titan can win the game for you, so yeah. Protecting a Sun Titan makes a lot of sense. There's a Gazul, Tyrant of the Cliffs. Okay. It's not bad. It's not a terrible card. We'll make them some tokens. Could be annoying. Could be really annoying for us, actually. Opponent's going to Demonic Tutor. Ooh, we're going to want to try to finish them off. Feather would have 3 power, which would be 18 commander damage. If we Adamant's Will, that would be 5 power. That's 20 commander damage. Plus Defiant Strike is 21 commander damage. So I think we need to get Tyma Bruse Tarl out of the game. Suppose we could have done that last turn, but we went for the more value play with Sun Titan. Eerie Procession. Search your library for an arcane card, reveal that card, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Seems good. Final Judgment? That's arcane, right? Death Denied. Return X target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Alright, that seems fair. Totally legit. Get back all their spirits. Opponent's going to get back 4 creatures. That seems very good. Goes back up to 5 cards in hand. Yeah, that's pretty good. Hanakami coming into play. Drogskull Captain coming into play. There's a Felwar Stone. Do we have enough mana to get that? That's 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we should have enough to get that. Use the Strip Mine. Use the Rugged thingy. Play Feather. Crimson Wisps on Feather. Crimson Wisps on the Feather. That will get us card draw and some haste. There's an Acroan Crusader. Cool. Play Adamant's Will on the Feather. It is now indestructible. Go to combat. Send Feather into the Tyma Bruse Tarl, and actually Sun Titan would not be... Opponent could double block the Sun Titan. Ooh. Does this thing give it first strike? Opponent could potentially, whenever... Yeah, opponent could double block the Sun Titan, which seems not amazing. We'll use the Path to Exile to protect the Sun Titan. That's what we'll do. So opponent will get a Kazul trigger. We'll get a Sun Titan trigger. Let's get back the Phalanx Leader right here. Our mana seems to be doing okay for the number of tools that we have. Not going to pay for the Kazul. Then declare attackers. Wait for opponent to see if they want to do anything. Play the Defiant Strike on Feather. We draw a... Ooh, Gisela. Yeah. Gisela should help us close out the game much, much quicker. Opponent goes down to commander damage. Very nice. And we'll pass the turn like that. Pretty good spot here. All the cards coming back to our hand. We have to discard. We go up to 8 cards. We do have to discard. I guess it's going to be the Acroan Crusader. There's a Kakusho coming into play. Probably want to path that one. Opponent's going to sacrifice their Kami to return something from the graveyard to the hand. I didn't see what it was. But feeling good with the Fairy's Protection in hand. Opponent going to send in the Drogskull Captain. Oh yeah, we don't have any flying blockers. Ooh, we have to... Kakusho does have hexproof because of the Drogskull Captain. So we should have just pathed the Drogskull Captain right there, actually. But we'll do that right now. Could have saved ourselves just a little bit of damage. Whoops. Path the Drogskull Captain. Opponent gonna copy the Drogskull Captain before it gets exiled. That should be... That only lasts till end of turn, though, so we should be fine. There's a Gift of Estates. Not sure that we need that one. Oh, nope. It sticks around. Oh, it gives the other one hexproof. Oh, nice play, opponent. Nice play. Well, Gisela? That's probably why they run that for the 2 Drogskull Captain thing. Amongst, you know, some of the other stuff they did too, but that is definitely a reason to run that combo. So let's play Gisela. Our timer's running low, by the way. Do you want to be quick about things? Let's get some haste on Gisela. We draw, ooh, a Shelter, huh? Shelter seems very helpful. Tag with everything. Sun Titan will trigger. Let's get Mirror Entity. Use the ability. Opponent's going to block the Gisela. So that damage won't get through. Yeah, we should probably pump. So if we pump 5, that'll be a 5/5, 5/5. That'll be a 5/5. That's 15 times 2 is 30. That should do it. Hopefully we don't get blown out by anything. So Mirror Entity for 5. Opponent's going to use the Mirror of the Forebears again. Oh, they're going to gain some life back. Yep, did not calculate for that. So Kakusho dies, they gain 5 life, we go to 17. Opponent's up to 40 temporarily, down to 9, so they survive another turn. We'll pass like that. All the spells coming back. Board wipe would be trouble. Ooh, Windborn Muse, that's a card. Opponent's going to rend flesh on Gisela. Don't have... We can use the Changeling. Yeah, we can make it a spirit. Nice. Get opponent with some of their own trickery. Opponent's going to Death Denied, sure. Get 2 more things back. Rend Flesh fizzles because Gisela becomes a spirit, and Rend Flesh can only destroy non-spirits. Opponent going to send in the Drogskull Captain, sure. Brings back to our turn. There's an Emeria. Play the Emeria. We're going to have to pay a lot of mana to attack. Oh, yeah, we can just send Gisela. We need to pay 4. Sun Titan get something back. We'll just get a land. We'll put Shelter on Gisela. Name Pro White. And this should do it. One's going to block the Sun Titan. Going to double block the Sun Titan. No big deal. Gisela will half the damage. And we take it down. Nice. So interestingly, this turned more into being about Zada than our heroic creatures specifically. We did get a little bit of action with our heroic creatures, but not a ton. Not like we were hoping. And I don't know. I guess if Zada's not there, then we probably use them more than we did. But because Zada was in play, it just kind of takes precedence because you're drawing 2 or 3 cards every time, and that's a really powerful interaction. We do need to get a Thought Vessel in this deck. We do need a Reliquary Tower in the deck. We'll make those changes right now. Reliquary Tower in. What are we taking out? I think we're going to take the Burnished Heart out, actually. The way this deck uses mana, Burnished Heart is a really tricky sell. And maybe we do need it. We'll see if we can pull anything else out along the way here. Fel the Mighty is definitely coming out. What are we putting in its place? We have a Blasphemous Act. We have Chandra's Ignition. That's 2 board wipes. We have an Hour of Revelation. We have an Austere Command. That's 4 board wipes. Maybe a Volcanic Offering is where we want to be. Yeah, let's go for Volcanic. Just a lot of great utility on that card. I'm going to pull out 1 mountain in place of that land that we added. Anything else that seemed like it underperformed? I'll need to see it again, but the Tethmos High Priest was kind of meh. We don't have like tons and tons of creatures to bring back, and it's terrible early. You really don't want to see it until later in the game. But later in the game, it could be useful if you need to get stuff back into play. So wasn't quite sold on that one. We do have Sun Titan, which can get back a lot of our early creatures. This converted mana cost 2 or less. Yeah, I think I'm going to get rid of that. I think Burnished Heart is just honestly going to be a better card most of the time. Then you can also do Burnished Heart stuff with Sun Titan. Ideally, we would also have a Emeria Shepherd in the deck, so that we could do Emeria Shepherd things as well. But yeah, we didn't really see the level of token production that you would kind of expect from this deck. Forgot to put Helm of Possession in here. That's a great card. Yeah, so honestly, we were able to walk away. We were able to walk away with a win right here. Zada really doing some work. We didn't get punished too hard by removal, which is one of the biggest drawbacks of this deck. But yeah, it could use a few more playthroughs. Really try to get things tuned up nice and tight. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have 3 new Patreon supporters in King of Diamonds, Dragon Ether, and Stephen Harris. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.